The Devil's Bible, a book that should never have existed. There exists a book so massive, so mysterious, and so disturbing that for centuries people believed it could not have been created by human hands alone. Its real name is Codex Gigas, but the world knows it by a far darker title, The Devil's Bible. At nearly 1 meter tall, weighing around 75 kilograms, this manuscript is the largest handwritten book ever created. Even today, standing before it feels unsettling. Not because of what it says, but because of the story behind it. A story that begins with an impossible task, written in a single night. According to medieval legend, a monk living in a Bohemian monastery committed a grave crime against his order. As punishment, he was sentenced to a horrifying fate: to be sealed alive inside a wall, left to die in darkness. Desperate to escape this sentence, the monk made an extraordinary promise. He claimed that in a single night he would write a book so great, so complete, that it would bring eternal glory to the monastery and honor God himself. But as the sun began to set, reality struck. What he had promised was humanly impossible. So the legend says that in his desperation, the monk turned not to God, but to the devil. He offered his soul in exchange for help. And in return, the devil granted him the strength and knowledge to finish the book before dawn. As a sign of gratitude, the monk included a full-page illustration of the devil himself, staring directly at the reader. This is the moment where history ends and myth begins. What history tells us. Modern researchers agree on one thing. The book was not written in a single night, but what they discovered is almost as disturbing. The entire manuscript appears to have been written by one single person. The handwriting remains consistent from the first page to the last. No visible corrections, no changes in style, no signs of aging across the text. Experts estimate that writing the Codex Gigas would have taken at least 20 to 30 years of continuous work. And yet, whoever wrote it showed no hesitation, no fatigue, no evolution. It is as if time simply did not touch the author. What's inside the Devil's Bible? Despite its sinister reputation, the Codex Gigas is not just a Bible. It contains the entire Latin Bible, historical chronicles, medical knowledge, calendars, and even exorcism rituals and magical formulas. It is essentially a medieval encyclopedia, knowledge of both heaven and hell bound into a single volume. Perhaps the most chilling detail lies in its layout. On one page, the kingdom of heaven. On the opposite page, the devil, a perfect balance between salvation and damnation. Where was it created? The Codex Gigas was created in Bohemia, in what is now the Czech Republic, likely in the Benedictine monastery of Podlažec during the early 13th century. For centuries, it remained within the region, passing between monasteries and surviving fires, wars, and plagues, almost as if it were protected. But then it vanished, stolen by the Swedes. In the year 1648, during the final days of the 30 Years' War, Swedish troops invaded Prague. Among the treasures they seized was the Codex Gigas. The Devil's Bible was taken as war loot and transported to Sweden, where it remains to this day in the Royal Library of Stockholm. Some believe this act sealed its curse, that the book was never meant to leave its place of origin. Others claim Sweden paid the price, suffering disasters and tragedies soon after. Coincidence or consequence? A curse or a masterpiece? So, what is the Devil's Bible, really? A cursed object born of dark magic? Or the greatest achievement of medieval human dedication? Perhaps the most unsettling thought is this: If one man truly devoted decades of his life in isolation, silence, and obsession, then maybe the devil was never needed at all. And that may be the most frightening truth of all.